Welcome everyone to Blade and Soul 2017 Korea Season 2. We are on day 3. And my name is Joseph, also with Ending Life as always, and we are here for the final stage of the quarterfinals, where if you tuned with us yesterday, you know that we did the final stage of the quarterfinals with Group A, and we had those series of matches, and the semifinalists for Group A were decided yesterday, and now we're going to do the same thing for Group B.
Yep, and today for our matches, which you're going to see soon, is going to be GC Busan Blue and Red, the Busan Derby.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm totally ready for this because, you know, the GC Busan Blue and GC Busan Red, they have always been a good team. And even back when they weren't, you know, separated into two teams and they were always that one team, they were always a renowned team.
Yeah.
And even with the separation, we thought that, you know, of course, the player and the roster changes could affect the teams in one way. But of course, GC Busan Red, looking at just the roster themselves, obviously they're the stronger team. But we saw that GC Busan Blue, even with the roster that were a little bit under what GC Busan Red could provide, they still won the championship last season.
Yeah, so Season 1 first place winner, champion, whatever you want to call it, is going to go up against their sister team, GC Busan Red. And this is today's matchup, as I mentioned, GC Busan Red versus GC Busan Blue first match. And then the second matchup is Revival versus Unknown, the two new team, or the rookie teams if you want to call it. However, the players aren't all rookies.
Not all rookies, yes. And I think the biggest thing here is that winner's match, obviously, you know, it could go both ways, but I think everybody here, I think, you know, everyone on Twitch chat, obviously, they know the prestige of these two teams, and they expect, even if they lose out of the winner's match, the decider match, which they will go to later, most people would predict that, you know, both GC Busan Blue, GC Busan teams, they will make it to the semifinals.
Yeah. And as you see, the second match, Revival versus Unknown, they don't get a chance. So they only have this match because they're the losers. So of, you know, the first group matches. So Revival and Unknown, they'll only get this chance. So only the winner against either Revival or Unknown is gonna have the chance to make it to the semifinals. The other team that loses is just out of this season.
And so another reminder for you guys who are not familiar with our format, it is a dual tournament format, which you get a second chance even if you do lose out one of the matches. And for the loser match, for example, of course, if you lose out of that match, you're obviously out of the quarterfinals and out of the tournament. But if you do win out of that losers match, you have to face against the losers of the winners match. So one of the GC Busan teams. And those teams will face up and to get their last spot in the semifinals, and we hope that, you know, Revival and Known, whoever makes it to the decider match, puts up a good fight.
Yeah, if you guys remember last week, GC Busan Red and Blue, they versed, you know, Revival and Unknown, you know.
Yes,
Blue
respectively,
Yeah, respectively. And they both won. Yeah. That's why they're in the winner's match. But, so as you just said, the double elimination. So either GC Busan Red or Blue loses, and then they go up against either, you know, Revival or Unknown. Since they have already beaten those two teams already previously, you know, I hope that it's just not gonna be like, you know, an obvious outcome.
Of course.
I hope that Revival and Unknown prepared for each other as well as the GC Busan Derby.
And as another reminder is that if you guys watched the first stage of our day 1 of our tournament last week, you know that once we saw the GC Busan clash up against these rookie teams, I remember that one of the GC Busan teams weren't so obvious in their victory. It went to a TKO in the end, and it wasn't as close. It wasn't as dominant as we would expect from a GC Busan team against the rookie team. So, you know, we could knock off these rookie teams right now and say that they're not going to make it to the semifinals, but it's, you know, also fair to say that they can put up a good fight.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. And we're going to see the interviews.
첫 경기가 홈캐스트인데 이긴 후 소감이 어땠는지 한번 얘기 좀 해주세요. 조금 더 빨리 잡을 수 있었는데 무슨 생각이 좀 있다 보니까 조금 늦게 잡은 것 같고, 당연히 이길 거라 생각해서 딱히 승리에 대한 소감은 없네요. 최성진 선수를 향한 이제 김하른 선수의 도발이 있었어요. 이거는 어떻게 생각하시는지, 최성진 선수. 좋은 게 많이겠네요.
뭐 틀린 얘기는 아니긴 한데.
아니 틀린 얘기 아니지, 근데 인정해야 되는 부분 아닐까? 아니 역사할 때는 아니지 형. 아니 왜 내가 화나는데?
김하론 선수의 도발을 잘 들어봤고 무슨 내용인지 대충 인지를 했습니다. 근데 이 전 세계적으로 뻗쳐나가 있는 블레이드 앤 소울이라는 게임에서 지금 여기 저희 세 명이 유일하게 별명이 있습니다. 이 한준호 선수가 금신, 박진효 선수가 암신. 저는 뭘 것 같습니까? 상금으로 따지면 제가 역사 중에서 제가 1등 아직 1등인데 일단 상금부터 먼저 따라오시고 도발하는 게 우선순위가 맞지 않겠나 싶은데요.
아니, 형 상금 많이 탔나?
좀 독하모.
나도 좀 더.
아니 우리 밥 좀 사도.
이유 좀 사도.
형이 직업을 바꾸면서 레드 팀이 많이 강해진 것 같은데 그거에 대한 얘기를 성진이 형이 해주세요.
옛날에 링검사로 플레이할 때는 이 1대1 스탠딩 매칭이나 이런 게 나오면은 좀 지레 겁먹고 좀 도망가는 식의 플레이가 많았는데 이제 본 캐릭으로 돌아오다 보니까 그 준호랑 진유도 좀 여유롭게 플레이를 할 수 있었던 것 같습니다.
이제 저번 인터뷰 잘 봤고 시즌 1에서 형이 많이 가르쳐줬지만 네가 우승하는 모습을 하니까 좀 좋으면서 쓸쓸하더라. 뭐 형이랑 많은 걸 공유하고 그러자는데 그건 너한테 더 이상 공유할 게 없어. 확실히 이겨주고 올라갈 테니까 마음 단단히 준비하고 있어.
대영아 니 누구한테 배웠다 했나? 단디하자. 제자는 스승의 그림자도 밟지 않는다 했다. 이번에는 우리 팀의 우승을 밟지 마라.
윤태야, 그 시즌 1 때 링검사 내가 할 때 하나도 안 가르쳐줘가지고 스스로 배웠는데 이제 시즌 2 때는 역사를 이제 꺼내 들었다. 시즌 1 때 조금 니한테 섭섭했던 마음을 경기 결과로 한번 보여주겠다.
블루전을 앞두고 각오 한마디만.
저희가 우승을 위해서는 약간 저희끼리의 작전은 꼭 저희끼리만 알고 해서 꼭 블루팀을 시즌 1 때 복수를 꼭 갚아내겠습니다.
너무 쓰레기 같은 거야.
맞다 형님. 우리 같은 지시부산인데
맞나?
뭘 그렇게 숨기는데.
아니 그냥 윈하자 하면 되지 그냥.
알았다.
좀 쓰레기처럼 인터뷰하노. 왜?
빨리 해라.
형제팀이랑 맞붙게 되었는데 시즌 1 때처럼 좀 즐겁고 좀 서로 멋진 경기 할 수 있게끔 최선을 다할 테니까 이제 블루팀에서도 레드팀이랑 경기 열심히 준비해서 윈윈해서 좋은 경기 결과 나왔으면 좋겠습니다. 이러면 됐나?
아, 이기는 건 우리가 이겨야지.
그래.
우리 말했잖아. 좋은 경기 결과 나왔으면 좋겠습니다.
붙인다?
아니 우리
지금까지 승자조 GC부산 레드팀의 인터뷰였습니다. 승자조 GC부산 블루팀과의 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 이번 시즌도 우승에 대한 느낌 오시는지 대영 형이 얘기 좀 해주세요.
저희는 이번 시즌은 솔직히 저번 시즌만큼 기대는 안 하고요. 한 4강에서 3등 정도로 목표로 하고 있습니다.
그러면서 우승을 하겠다는 소리네요.
이게 근데 사람이 올라가면 갈수록 욕심이 자꾸 생기더라고요.
레드팀이랑 이제 형제 대결을 다시 하게 되는데 레드팀이 그 많은 준비를 하고 나온 것 같은데 어떻게 생각하는지.
숨길 수가 없어. 내랑 같이 살잖아.
아 오바야. 같이 옆에서 PC방 하는데 이러고 봐요.
이것도 해라 이것도 해라.
야 대웅 형도 그렇게 한다. 대웅 형 그 얘기해라. 다 얘기해. 내가만 얘기하지 마.
이제 평소에도 이제 레드팀하고 이제 많이 연습을 하니까 뭐 준비된 거라기보다 이제 다 알고 있기 때문에 그날 이제 어떻게 대처를 하느냐에 따라 이제 달린 것 같고요.
막 이러고 본다 이러고 옆에서 연습을 하는데 이건 노답이야 그냥 대웅 형. 많이 변했어 우승하더니.
그런 것 같아요.
레드팀의 지난주 경기를 어떻게 봤는지.
오늘 경기 보니까 살짝 불안하긴 했어도 이변이 일어나진 않더라고요.
근데 너네도 불안했어 지난주에.
왜요?
아니 피해랑 갔잖아.
그건 다 이제 생각을 해서
그거는 이길 수밖에 없었지.
아니 우리도 이길 수밖에 없었는데.
우리도 이길 수밖에 없다고 생각했는데.
아니지, 형 막 처음 나오자마자 막 교체하고 그랬잖아요.
올해도 이길 거라 생각했는데.
교체하고 막 아무튼 안 좋았어요, 상황이.
너는 형이랑 한번 주주전을 해야 돼. 많이 컸어. 한번 이게 지려밟고 가야 된다고. 한번 밟고 갈 때가 됐어 이제. 근데 어떻게 생각해?
전 저 형하고 이제 막 검검전 한번 해볼게요.
아니 그런 도전을 좀 하지 마. 내 명예를 깎아내릴래 계속. 이미 비안님 때문에 이원식 씨 때문에 많이 깎아내렸어.
한 번 더 해요 저랑.
이제 레드전을 앞두고 각오 한마디씩 하실 건데 이제 여기 보면서
GC부산 레드팀과는 너무 편한 사이이기 때문에 이번 경기 때도 저번처럼 편하게 이제 게임에 임하면 좋은 성적 거둘 수 있을 거라 생각하고 서로 이제 즐겜 하면서 보여줄 수 있는 거 다 보여주고 그랬으면 좋겠습니다.
형준이 형 저번에 이제 시즌 1 플레이오프 때 저랑 역사전을 했는데 제가 이겼잖아요. 성진이 형 이제 한 번 더 나오셔서 이번엔 제가 다른 직업으로 나갈 건데 한 번 더 다시 붙죠.
진유 그림자 밟아붙네.
네, 지금까지 승자조 GC 부산 블루팀과의 인터뷰였습니다. 이제 저와 함께 12조 승자전 경기 보시죠.
And this is extremely
my
exciting
God.
because GC Busan Blue and GC Busan Red, they know each other better than any other teams in this league. And I think, the fact that they are so close and the fact that, there's not many secret strategies they can really hide from each other.
I love the interviews. I always love the interviews, especially Sungjin Choi and GC Busan Red firing those shots at everybody.
Man. And you also have to love
Oh my
Juno Han's
God.
twin brother,
Yeah.
doing the hosting, and Juno
Uh-huh.
Han's other twin brother doing the answering. So that was actually interesting.
The double eyebrows.
Yeah, no computer graphics there, by the way. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, but GC Busan Red, they know they are the better team. They know they are the bigger one with talents, with more name value,
Yeah.
and they know that they should be the one to get the first win of the series. But GC Busan Blue, they also know that they are not far behind.
No, definitely not. And GC Busan Blue, as I was mentioning how Red was firing shots, GC Busan Blue seemed a little more nice and, calm. And they're like, yeah, let's have a good game,
It's like the devil
guys."
versus the angels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. But GC Busan Blue, they're like, yeah, we're just, since we already won the first
Sure.
season, we're just going to go to maybe like third place this season and just go to the QuarterFinals smoothly with no problem. But we never know what's going to happen because when the match starts, they're going to give it all.
And that's where it all becomes decided when,
Yep.
whoever wants to win more will become the victors of these matches, because right now, as we see it, being the former champion, GC Busan Blue is pretty even with GC Busan Red. Of course, our talents and things like that we have to consider differently, but with all things considered together, I think this will be a pretty even match.
Yeah, definitely. It's esports. Anything
Yes.
could happen. People change. People get better. Some people get worse. And as the interview said, Sungjin Choi, coming out with the destroyer, losing to Yoon Tae-sun.
Yeah, that was a complete
Yeah, that
embarrassment.
was
yeah.
an embarrassment for the quote-unquote world destroyer. So this time around, today, I hope Sungjin Choi, whether he comes out in singles or only in tag, I hope he shows us some crazy top-class destroyer.
Yeah, because Sungjin Choi has to perform today on the Destroyer, or else he's not even going to be a World Destroyer. He's not even going to be the Korean Destroyer. So he's going to have to step up his game against, the pride that, all three of these players you see
Yeah.
on the screen. They really have to protect their pride. And, they expect themselves to win, and they should really bring that out and really just prove it in the game.
Yeah, and as in the interview, Yoon Tae-sun, said to Sungjin Choi, he's like, hey, let's go 1v1 again, but I'm
Hey.
not going to come out with the destroyer this time around. I'll give you a chance with another class.
Hey, so giving a lot of handicap to both sides, but
Yeah.
whether that interview will actually become fruition, we'll have to find out. It's the first match with Sungjin Choi on the Destroyer as expected, but Yoon Tae-sun, he kept his promise.
But
Isn't
he's
that
on the Blade Master.
Blade Master, that's actually a very surprise, and we
That
haven't
is.
we haven't seen Yoon Tae-sun on the Blade Master for a while.
Yeah.
And we really don't know what to expect from this matchup, other than we know that Sungjin Choi, from the few times that we've seen him play the Destroyer this season, he's been fantastic. And if he just brings out the same performance, I don't know why he can't be Yoon Tae-sun.
Yeah, you never know, but yeah, as you said, Yoon Tae-sun's Blade Master, we don't have too much information about because he usually plays the Blade Dancer
Right.
rather than the Blade Master. So we'll have to see how this match plays out. But Sungjin Choi, regardless of who is facing or what the class is, he has to win. He wants to win to keep his pride, to keep his name as the World Destroyer.
And we'll see if he can keep that pride with the first match of Day 3. GC Busan Red, GC Busan Blue. The Busan Derby will be on your way with the first singles of the day. And the first match of the Busan Derby begins with Sungjin Choi on the Destroyer and Yoon Tae-sun on the Blade Master.
Yes.
Not the Blade Dancer.
Yeah,
so
the
we
Blade
have to see
Master.
how this turns out for both sides, but Sungjin Choi has a lot of pride that he has to protect.
Yeah, we'll have to see. The initiate comes
he's
up. The
going
Ember
with
Stomp is procced, blocking everything.
So that's going to be on cooldown for a bit until he uses that again.
And the
but
Ember Stomp saves him from a knockdown from the Blade Master.
so he's going on the rotation, see what he can do with that. Nothing really coming from both sides yet.
Spin to win. Come on.
Has been to win, but doesn't get any damage onto both sides yet. And both sides are playing pretty safely until Yuntaeson is stunned. But he doesn't use his
Drag.
strength yet. He does
Back
a back
roll
roll
chase.
He does a back roll chase.
Forcing him to get up with the windmill. He does not use his second wind yet.
So both sides, Sungjin Choi and Yuntaeson, they are both out of back rolls, and both are getting it back very soon. But really, nothing significant from the early game yet.
Yeah, well, the Sungjin Choi does use his smash.
Oh, let's get into the aerial. That's actually a pretty good move onto Sungjin Choi, and he does get into the second aerial. And what he can do with that, he's actually getting pretty good decent damage onto Sungjin Choi.
All right, good decision by Sungjin Choi. The Blade Master thought he was gonna second wind out, but he just back rolls out, and he does not chase him.
It's a very smart move by Sungjin Choi, yes.
Mind game.
And he does heal back up with that Earth Shatter, so we can see what he can do with that. And actually, Sungjin Choi playing really smart with all these advantages. He does have the back roll advantage and has that escape advantage over Yuntaeson.
All right, the second win is finally used. The first escape used of the match.
Yes. And Yuntaeson is behind on that escape. He does throw out trying to get him into an advantage, but nothing really happens there.
All right. Okay, so he gets
another aerial by the Blade
aerial.
Master. And it gets to the second area. We'll use the second escape this time, but nothing really coming from Sungjin Choi. Sungjin Choi really holding on to that escape.
He's done!
Judgment Cleave combo
5 seconds!
does get actually very good damage onto Yuntaeson.
All right, Flocka Blade saves him. He did not have his tab escape, but now he gets it back. Yuntaeson
does have a tab escape back. And Sungjin Choi taking pretty good amount of damage, but he does go in that rotation, see what he can do with that.
All right, Typhoon is procced right now. Blade Master Yuntaeson is taking some damage.
Consistent damage coming from Sungjin Choi, but not as much damage as he would have liked.
All right, Sungjin Choi showing his back to Yuntaeson right now, and he has to use his second win because he gets CC.
And then Sungjin Choi is out of that tab escape. Does get area. He doesn't have the tab escape right now available, so second win is not available. He might take more damage than he could have.
He got out with the persistence to his second escape.
Yes, so
Ember Stomp is procced. The drag is blocked.
Yes, but he's completely out of his escapes right now, Sungjin Choi, and Yuntaeson has to take advantage of the situation. He's using the Earth Shadow to bring some of his health back.
All right, 10 more seconds left. If it goes down to TKO, it seems as if Yuntaeson has done more damage.
Yes,
and there we go with the Dragon Tongue.
And that contributes more to the damage, and this will go to TKO to the damage chart. And I think this is going to be a win for Yuntaeson. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely it's a Yuntaeson win because Sungjin Choi has healed up a lot of his health, and he is still lower than Yuntaeson.
Yes, true. And just from an eye perspective, we can see that Yuntaeson did significant amount more damage, and they do get the first win. I told you it's not impossible for GC Busan Blue to get the win, and they get the win for the first match.
Yep, and Sungjin Choi, he is trying to keep his cool.
He lost again,
but you can tell. Man. You get the feels of that disappointment. He's like, guys, I'm sorry. Because he's a very nice guy, even though he does trash talk a lot during the interview. That's just, because they're all friendly. All these players know each other very well. Especially the GC Busan Derby.
They live in the same team house.
Yeah. So, the trash talk is for entertainment. But Sungjin Choi, he's a very nice guy. He's very kind in the backstage. And I'm pretty sure he feels very bad for his team.
Right. And one thing I do want to ask you, Ending, is that, the decision to go with the Blade Master this time around, was it an intention to go to the TKO in the end, trying to put up more damage in the Destroyer for that, elongated time? Not really trying to kill off the other, but because we saw that Yuntaeson from the beginning of the match, he was playing extremely slowly and not forcing any initiatives. And I think maybe he was going for that, trying to go for the TKO because he knew that he can guarantee much more damage in the end. What do you think about that?
Well, maybe he did plan it that way, but most of these players, they want to get the KO.
Right.
But, as you just said, the Blade Master, Yuntaeson, I'm pretty sure he was confident for bringing it out. He's not going to play, a class that he hasn't practiced.
Sure.
But, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was confident enough to do more damage. So even if it does go down to the TKO, as long as he doesn't give Sungjin Choi the Judgment Cleave combo, time for that Judgment Cleave combo, which he almost did.
Of course.
He almost did.
We saw a second of that.
Yeah, but he was able to knock back with the Flocka Blades and negate some of the drags with the Cyclone. So, Yuntaeson played a very safe but well played round.
I think it was a very smart
Yeah.
game by Yuntae-sun, but we will see how this translates into the second game. Juno Han, the superstar of the team, trying to make his team come back into form on the Warlock against Daeun Choi on the Assassin.
Yep, Juno Han actually being a Blade Master main last year, probably, saw Yuntae-sun beat his teammate with his main.
A lot of revenge
I
on
wonder what he's
stake right
thinking.
now. He
I
has a
wonder
lot.
what he's thinking.
I'm sure he has a lot
Yeah.
of revenge right now, thinking
And
of his
that-
plan. You can see that in his eyebrow.
and that close-up.
It got extra bigger
Yeah.
after that loss, so we know that he's very angry.
Yeah,
he wants
is.
retaliation.
Oh no, he's not angry. You haven't seen his angry brows.
Oh my, I have yet to see it,
Yes.
but it looks semi-angry right now, and he's ready to
No,
get his team back
that
on
is
form.
not angry. You haven't seen the angry brows.
Oh my
You haven't
goodness.
seen it.
Is it
You'll
extra
know
long?
it. You'll know it when you see it.
Oh,
But
I'll know when
let's
I
get
see it.
Let's get ready to get into the second round.
And we have match 2 of the Busan Derby right now with Warlock, Juno Han, and Assassin Daeun Choi. Very conventional picks for these two because we were very expected these classes from these two players.
Yeah, exactly. And last year, not last season, last year, me and Min, the previous caster,
Right.
we would always bash on Daeun Choi saying, step up your game for your team. However, last season he stepped up many stairs.
He heard
Many
you guys.
boulders.
He heard you guys. That's probably the only way we can explain that because Daeun Choi, I saw some of his VODs, before coming to this
Yeah.
casting scene, and Daeun Choi really did step up for his team, getting that championship for his team.
Yeah.
And we have to see if he can bring it down again.
Yep, and right now, Juno Han eyebrows is webbed up there. Got a little time bomb on his back.
But no significant damage onto him nor the Familiar, so the Familiar is going down on cooldown very soon, so Juno Han has to be aware of
He's
that.
imprisoned into
But
the
it's
aerial.
in the aerial. That's actually
It's not
explosive
good.
damage.
Daeun Choi is out of all of his
Oh,
escapes
this is
right
a chance
now.
for Juno Han to bring his team back onto form because Daeun Choi has no escapes for the next 2 seconds, but he'll get all of
There
them
we
back
go.
right now. So this is a room for Daeun Choi to perform back, but he has very slimmer of health.
All right, Juno Han, that was your chance. Now you're out of escapes, but the time distortion is used, so he gets his escape back. So everybody is back to where they started, except for Daeun Choi's health bar is very
yes.
low.
And Daeun Choi does have to be careful, but at the same time, you can't play too careful against Juno Han because we know how explosive he can be when given the opportunity.
Yeah.
So Juno Han, with this opportunity of his low health and knowing that Daeun Choi can play a little bit more carefully,
Yep.
he can take advantage of the situation, get a big strike on.
Yep, he's healing up a little bit, but he has to use his stealth right away because he does get CC'd by Juno Han, but the Familiar is gone.
And the stealth is out, but the Familiar, like you said, is gone. And the second second win for Juno Han is actually gone right now.
All right, he's using his Sanctum to buy time for that Familiar cooldown, and the Familiar is
It's back
back.
on.
So because his second escape is the body swap with the Familiar, so
Right.
he needs the Familiar to be out just in case, because his tab escape is out right now on cooldown.
So Juno Han right now, he's playing it very slowly, not trying to go for the finish really. And Daeun Choi with the more damage taken is most likely gonna be, if this goal extends over to the TKO once again, it seems like Juno Han would get the win out of that damage chart. But we have to see how Daeun Choi tries to play this out, try to get as much done out of the time that he has.
Juno Han is trying to get him out of stealth. Juno Han's Familiar is gone again, but he did use his body swap, so it's on cooldown, so he doesn't really need the Familiar except for the time
so
distortion, but he's getting hurt by the bombard.
Actually, very good damage, consistent
Whoa!
bombard onto Juno Han. Actually,
No!
good damage. He can keep this up
Oh,
for the
no,
next
he's
15
done.
seconds.
Juno Han is done
Next
for.
15 seconds is all he
done.
has in the bombard to finish him off, and
Wow.
that's actually a comeback win.
Yeah.
For Daeun Choi, maybe Juno Han
Wow.
was too complacent for those last few minutes.
All right, Juno Han allowing Daeun Choi to land those CCs back to back. Maybe he should have saved his second win or his
Yes,
tab escape
yes.
for his second CC and then, tabbed escaped out. Because when he tabbed escaped out of the first CC, Daeun Choi, fortunately he did land the CC right afterwards. and he just finished them off with the bombard.
And the surprise bombard was the big factor here. He didn't use it basically
Yeah.
all game, and
Yeah.
he brought it at the near end. So I think kind of caught off Junohan by surprise.
Yeah.
But I think I want to give props to Daeun Choi, but at the same time, I have to be a little bit critical of Junohan how he played that last minute, because I think he was taking it too careful when he had that extreme amount of health advantage. And he was trying to go for the TKO, but I think he should have finished him off.
Yeah. So right now here is when Junohan actually body swapped out of a difficult situation, buying him some time. But now it's gonna be when he tabs escapes out. Right now,
That's a bombard right here.
All right, so he.
And that's kind of the situation
go.
where it all
He tab
ended,
escaped.
because all the tab escape is off.
The back row
that's
chase.
And
Yeah.
just the back row chase, brilliant from Daeun Choi. And of course, we do give props to Daeun Choi, but I just wish that Junohan could have played it better. I think he was playing too safe, and I think he needs a little bit more aggressive that really can bring the morale back to the team.
Yep. The tech chase though by Daeun Choi, the tech chase into the mine knockdown, into the web,
Yes.
not giving Junohan a single chance to do, just don't press your keys, because you can't. Because you're out of your tab
Right.
escape.
And GC Busan Blue looking really, really good for the
Yeah.
first two matches. And if
Yeah.
they can bring that same amount of form onto Game 3 tag match, it just might be over with right now.
Yeah, it just seems as if they're shouting out, "We are the previous winners of
Right.
season 1.
And
Don't mess with us."
And that's all it takes, because Blade and Soul, of course, is a skill cap game, but at the same time, it's very result oriented, because that momentum you
Yeah,
bring to the game is
definitely.
actually extremely
Yes,
huge.
yes.
And of course, the fans voting still 91-9 towards
Yep.
GC Busan Red. Of course, that is expected, but at the result of it right now, GC Busan Blue looks like the favorites.
Yeah, it seems as I cannot disagree with you on that. GC Busan Blue, all these guys, like last year, I've been bashing on them, but now, they're coming back at me. They're like, "Hey, ending, what did you say?" And then they're just coming at me, winning all these rounds and going against my personal prediction.
Right.
And now they have to win. GC Busan Red, they have to win this tag to even it up, to bring it to the 4th set.
And this is their last chance to do it. With this tag match win, they will be even at 2-2, and which will bring us to the last singles of the series. And it's the final chance for GC Busan Red, and they have to bring it all together as a unit and as a team, and we have to see whether they can do it for this Game 3 of the GC Busan Blue Derby, and we can see if they can do it with the tag match and bring it back onto square one. And potentially the final match of the Busan Derby does begin, and it wasn't as close as we expected, but perhaps GC Busan Red can bring it up here.
Yeah, but right now, I hope GC Busan Red wins just because it's a Busan Derby, and I don't want it to end 4-0.
That would be a complete disappointment if it went both ways, really. Even if GC Busan Red won 4-0, it would have been a complete disappointment. But it's really a surprise to see that even from yesterday's matches from day 2, we had a lot of surprises going for us. And a lot of unexpectancies happening for us. And we can see already, starting off with day 3, that it's already happening with those surprises again.
Yep, all right, so they are playing it passive. This is actually better for Daeun Choi, waiting for his leaf cooldown, which is 18 seconds and counting.
And Destroyer Sungjin Choi, he has a redemption to make right now, and just going for that forward, and he's trying to make some plays, but he's on that stealth. Nothing gets from it. The Typhoon doesn't really knock out the stealth. He does break the stealth and gets for the bombard for a minimal amount of damage, and does get nothing really after that.
All right, he does use his persistence, his second escape, to get out of Daeun Choi CC, and he is healing back up. Daeun Choi wants to make a move before his leaf goes away, so he can either use it or doesn't want to wait until the cooldown goes away, because the leaf, when it goes away without being used, it goes on cooldown, and you don't want that.
And Daeun Choi really has to look for the finish and has to look for the damage potential, because it's not going to be the same situation where in the singles you can go to TKO and win out on the damage chart against Sungjin Choi's Destroyer, but you have to look for the damage to bring the team for a victory.
Yeah, and it's being played very slowly. No interference has been used. No tag has been used. 7 seconds until both of them are force tagged out.
But right now, both teams are, like you said, playing very carefully, and they too are both tagged down. We can get nothing from the chase, nothing going both ways, but Junior Park on the Assassin coming out for GC Busan Red, and Yuntes on the Blade Dancer this time. And it's not on the Blade Master, but it does get him into the aerial, onto good damage.
Working into the reactionary
to the reactionary. Actually, incredible amount of damage onto Junior Park, and Junior Park looks stunned after that.
Yep, Junior Park He took a lot of damage. Usually he's not the one to take damage. He's the one to do damage, but he has to force.
Oh,
he
my
is
goodness.
forced to tag out
Oh,
into
but
Junohan.
he's gonna get a chase onto that as soon as he comes in. And
Oh,
you look at
the
the
lightning
lightning draw. Actually, very good play, but Junohan does get out close enough that he can escape
down.
much of the damage.
Okay,
Now
knocked
get
down into the area. Come on, offensive
Oh
interfere.
my goodness!
There we
what
go.
a
Tons of
he has.
damage.
Just forcing in the tag
Oh.
on the incredible amount of damage, but Dae Choi getting the exact amount of damage on as soon as he tagged in.
Yeah, Dae Choi comes in. He probably was putting his skills in. He
Oh my
doesn't have his
goodness.
leaf right now.
He wasn't ready to come in.
Yeah, he has his damage spec'd into his blue buff right now, so he's out of his stealth. He doesn't have his leaf. If he gets out of this stealth,
Oh my goodness.
he is in danger. He might have to just tag out if he gets CC right away.
And Junohan just stepping up for his team when it was the most important, because they really need a tag win right here to get this team back even. But as we were saying, Junohan does get into the area onto the webbing, and we can see what Dae Choi can do with that. Not enough damage onto him, but Sungjin Choi on the destroyer does come back out.
All right, he is still stealth, and Dae Choi does get his tab escape back. Dae Choi almost at full health. Not Dae Choi. Sungjin Choi almost at full health. Dae Choi took a lot of damage when he tagged in.
Yes.
However, he didn't take any damage while he was on the field, so it is still a plus.
And Dae Choi does know that as long as he doesn't get into an incredible amount of danger situation, that he won't be taking damage because it is against the destroyer, but he still needs to be careful with that one lack of escape.
That was very good play by Dae Choi when Sungjin Choi jumped in for that CC.
does he have to
knocked
do
him down
the
with
second
his
escape.
mind.
The second win is gone for Dae Choi off of that stun. And Dae Choi, with the lack of escape and with the lack of health, if Sungjin Choi can get a good opportunity to put in this immense amount of damage, that actually could be a KO for Dae Choi.
Right now what Dae Choi is trying to do is trying to play out the 17-second clock countdown for that force tag because he wants to, you know, save his tag point, and he just used his blue buff for no reason, maybe just to buy time, telling Sungjin Choi, don't
Right.
come near me, I have the blue buff.
And also, I think, you know, just getting that skill tree on into what he was, you know, at least getting more time to get his skill tree on, and does come in Yoon Jae-jung on the Warlock.
All right,
This is
he is
first
force
appearance.
tagged in, and he does get chased, and he is forced to use his tab escape right away. Yoon Jae-jung, but doesn't take any damage. Neither does Sungjin Choi.
But Yoon Jae-jung taking that second win very quickly, and goes into the area.
Just
It is
knocked
get
out.
destroyed from 100 to 0. And that was actually a very bad play by Junior Park. I don't think he should have gone down that way.
Wow. Well, it wasn't 100 to 0, but it surely looked like it.
Yeah.
And he's getting his revenge
Man,
from
Junohan
Junohan.
really stepping up for his team right now. As soon as his team got behind with Junior Park's immediate death, Junohan comes in right away to put in a statement for what his team can do.
All right, he is. Yoon Jae-jung is tagged
gets a
out.
stand, but he does escape. Still escape from it, and the escape tab does work. And we'll see what Junohan can do, because Junohan is the only one that really needs to step up right now for his team, because his other teammates are behind. But it does go into the area by Dae Choi onto the webbing. Let's see what he can do with this, but nothing coming from it
All
yet.
right, the defensive interfere comes in. Sungjin Choi comes in to save Junohan's tab escape, so you know he can use it later on instead of using it now when he gets knocked down by the mine.
And that's actually a very good play by Sungjin Choi to come on and interfere, because he needs all that
He
tab
just
escape he can
imprisoned.
get.
He
Oh,
just imprisoned that
Oh,
ult
my
of
goodness.
Dae Choi. That was super crazy.
but really nothing
my
coming from it. He doesn't get the second escape out from Junohan, because Junohan will need that escape for that crucial play coming on. But he does take a lot
my
of damage from
gosh.
Dae Choi. Oh, we can see from Dae Choi getting his team incredibly behind. If it goes like this, it might be a win for GC Busan Blue.
All right, Junohan, the only one with interferes, might want to tag out, giving
Oh my god, this is a
Sungjin
very
Choi to
bad.
stay out so he can interfere in to help out. There we go,
This
finally.
this is an obvious tag out, because even though Sungjin Choi with that destroyer, he can heal some of his health back. But right now, this GC Busan Red looking really bad, looking really disadvantageous going into this final set.
All right, Yoon Jae-jung comes in, uses time distortion, keeping his range. The ult is proc,
the
but the
poison breath.
ult does not connect.
Oh, but Junohan does come in with Sungjin Choi eventually dying, and this looks like it is over for GC Busan Red and GC Busan Blue. 4-0 victory, probably incoming very, very
Yeah,
soon.
very soon.
And it seems like they're gonna get their sister team onto the ultimate finish, and what a classy way to finish off the match. And GC Busan Blue,
Wow.
they cannot have made a more clear statement
Yeah.
that we are not supposed to be compared to you guys. We are clearly the better team, and we showed that in the singles, we showed it in the tag, because they were not behind the tag in one bit.
Wow, GC Busan Red looks like they're in shock. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I am in shock, and
Yes.
I'm sweating because I didn't know GC Busan Red would have lost for Donut, man.
For Donut, it is, and GC Busan Red losing a lot of pride in that one, but potentially it could be a start of GC Busan Blues pride, where they said that they don't have any nicknames for these respective players here, but starting from today, potentially we could have some nicknames for CD player because all of these players, all three of them, play wonderfully today.
Yeah, definitely. Here we go. The stars. Yutesung gets that first aerial. The reactionary 2v2,
yes.
but Jinyu Park took too much damage already for that defensive interfere, so it doesn't really matter of that defensive interfere by Sungjin Choi.
And I think Juno Han, we have to be critical of his singles, but in the tag match, he really did all the carry he could, all he do for his team, but I have to say, the Sungjin Choi on the Destroyer and Jinyu Park, dying just immediately, unnecessarily. I think, those two players really needed to step up much more than that.
Yeah, usually I would never say step up his game, step up your game to Jinyu Park, but yeah, this time around, it seems as if something is going on with Jinyu Park. Sungjin Choi, I could cut him some slack because he did force himself to play the Blade Dancer last season, which was not too long ago. Coming back to the Destroyer, he may be rusty, he may take some time, need some time to get back into it, so I'll cut him some slack, but Jinyu Park, I don't know, he was one of the fun players to watch on the field, but I don't know what is going on with Jinyu Park.
I mean, ending, you want to cut them some slack, but it's GC Busan Red. They are supposed to be one of the best teams in Korea, and they know they are skillfully much better than GC Busan Blue, but they come out in a 4-0 blowout. I don't think that's very unacceptable.
Now we have to cancel that statement that you just said, saying they're skillfully better than GC Busan Blue, because now it's starting to be evened out. Maybe GC Busan Blue
I think they're
is
better.
Turning up on top of them.
And I think it's all due to it doesn't matter about practices anymore. It doesn't matter about whether you can do it off stage, but it's on stage where it really matters. And 4-0 looks very clearly, better on the GC Busan Blue side.
Definitely. Yeah, GC Busan Blue showing us, what a team is all about. It doesn't matter if we're newly formed, if they're, better than us, if they have nicknames, it doesn't matter.
Name value really counts for everything if you get blowout down to 4-0, but we will go on a short break and we will be back with the second game of the series. Welcome back to blade&soul Korea 2017 Season 2, and we are on day 3, and we saw a surpriser once again.
Oh yeah, definitely. A big, humongous surprise. 4-0. GC Busan takes the win, and they are up there now waiting, forcing GC Busan Red to be waiting for the winners of this match, the second match, Revival versus Unknown.
And I don't think GC Busan Red has too much to worry about because they knew they were the strongest team in the group coming into this tournament, basically. But even with the next upcoming match, with being Revival and Unknown, no matter which team comes out to the decider match, I think GC Busan Red will be full of confidence.
Yeah, definitely. GC Busan Red is definitely one of the stronger teams in Group B, and unfortunately they lost. So the stronger team basically lost. So now we'll have to see the interview to see how they prepare.
김하루 선수, 최선진 선수의 경기를 어떻게 보셨는지 한번 얘기 좀 해주세요.
그때 화장실 갔다 와서 못 봤는데
볼 필요가 없었다. 지난주 첫 경기를 해봤는데 신정이 어떠셨는지 서정호 선수가 한번 얘기해 주세요.
문파 대전보다 일단 선수들이 다 기본적으로 잘하니까 오히려 문파 대전 때보다 엄청 긴장을 해서 제 실력을 못 발휘한 것도 있는 것 같아요.
지금 인터뷰 때 더 긴장하시는 것 같은데 리바이벌의 경기를 어떻게 봤는지.
리바이벌 경기를 보기보다는 저희랑 예선에서 만났기 때문에 그쪽으로 좀 중점을 두고 분석을 하고 있습니다. 근데 또 이게 방심하면 어떻게 될지 몰라가지고 신중하게 하고 있습니다.
링 검사 이대규 선수를 해서 해줄 말이 있다면
주술사한테 그렇게 쉽게 질 줄은 몰랐어요. 정말 실망스러웠어요. 네.
몇 초라 했지?
10초 컷?
이제 리바이벌전을 앞두고 각오 한마디씩 하실 텐데
기공사가 이제 확실히 개인전이 많이 이제 상향이 돼서 강 클래스는 맞는데 그래도 저희가 준비 많이 해서 꼭 이기는 방향으로 노력하겠습니다.
이길 거라고 마음가짐 하고 최선을 다해서 경기에 임하도록 하겠습니다.
리바이벌 뭐 손쉽게 이기고 그냥 GC 부산 블루랑 다시 리벤지 매치를 하는 걸로 그냥 각오를 하고 있습니다.
지금까지 패자조 언노운 팀과의 인터뷰였습니다. 패자조 리바이벌 팀과의 인터뷰를 시작하겠습니다. 이대규 선수, 한준호 선수에게 하고 싶은 말이 있으시다면
준호 형이 저한테 26초 컷이죠? 네.
자려고요. 올리자. 끝나요. 예.
이거 몇 초에 끝난 거죠 이게?
저희가 시간을 보지도 못했습니다.
네.
26초 컷이라는 충격적인 패배를 저한테 이제 안겨준 형이고요. 그것 때문에 이제 태그 매치에서도 이렇게 말리지 않았나 그렇게 생각하고 있어요.
한준호 선수가 진짜 어마무시한 선수인 것 같네요.
네.
네, 오랜만에 대회에 나온 재성이 형이신데 소감은 어떠신지?
제가 현역으로 뛸 때는 개인전이랑 태그 매치가 분리되어 있었고 그전에는 아예 태그 매치가 없이 개인전만 하던 대회였는데 이렇게 팀워크를 발휘해서 하는 게임으로 대회 경기가 이제 진행이 되다 보니까 아무래도 제가 잠시 불소개를 떠났다가 돌아오면서 기존에 하던 선수들한테 같은 팀을 하자 이렇게 제안을 하기가 좀 미안한 감도 있었고 그래가지고 이제 새로 이제 복귀하는 유저 뭐 예를 들면 병장 전역 그리고 뭐 새롭게 이제 대회에 출전하는 선수들을 데리고 이렇게 팀을 만들었는데 그래서 이제 뭐 팀명도 리바이벌이라고 지었고 그래도 여기 경기장 와서 다시 뛰니까 좋은 기분이네요.
이제 언노운 팀에 대해 경기를 지난주에 보셨는데 어떻게 생각하시는지?
지난주에 제가 교체 실수로 이제 부산 레드팀한테 암살자 5위를 맞았어요.
많이 들어왔어.
그것만 고쳐진다면 그 팀한테는 안 질 자신이 있어요.
근데 생각보다 언노운 팀이 첫 출전인 것 치고는 굉장히 긴장을 안 하는 것 같은 느낌을 받았거든요. 근데 GC 부산 블루 같은 경우에도 좀 탄탄하게 이루어지는 팀인데 그 팀을 상대로 이제 피해량 판정을 갔다는 것 자체부터가 굉장히 기본기가 좀 탄탄하게 되어 있는 팀인 것 같아서 준비 잘해가지고 이겨야죠.
그 언노운 팀이 아까 자기네들이 개인전에서는 좀 지더라도 태그에서는 이길 것 같다 이런 식으로 얘기를 했거든요.
아무래도 팀워크를 맞춘 지가 오래 안 됐기 때문에 정말 하루하루 성장하고 있어요 지금 현재. 예선전 때를 생각을 하고 저희랑 만약에 맞붙게 된다면 결과를 호언장담할 수는 없을 겁니다.
그 서정호 선수가 진짜 주수전을 보고 실망을 많이 했다고. 그 다음에 볼 때는 자기가 더 빨리 죽여주겠다. 이대규 선수가 서정호 선수한테 한번 그 말에 대한 답변으로
강력하게 말해 그냥.
저기요 서정우 선수님 선봉 나오십시오. 네? 제가 15초 컷 해드렸습니다.
이제 안혁기 선수부터 각오 한마디씩.
예선전 때 한 번 진 적이 있었거든요. 그때와는 정말 다를 겁니다.
저희가 예선전 때 역사 벽치기에 의해서 한 명이 터져서 이제 게임이 터졌거든요. 눈에는 눈, 이에는 이, 벽에는 벽 한번 보여드리도록 하겠습니다.
일단 이제 제가 개발한 필살기가 있는데 자 그거를 꼭 보여드리도록 하겠습니다. 선봉 나오십시오. 선봉 나오십시오. 필살기 이름 알려드릴게요. 필살기 이름은 선봉 나와라잉.
지금까지 패자조 리바이벌 팀과의 인터뷰였습니다.
The interviews never seem to impress us, and Revival versus Unknown is our upcoming match, and they did face each other before in the prelims where we didn't. It wasn't on broadcast, so but we know that Unknown beat Revival in that time around,
Yeah.
but they wanted to do it again, but Revival thinks differently of that.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the interviews when we come back from it. Taegyu Lee, that is crazy.
Yeah.
You guys read the subtitles, but it feels different when you actually hear it and understand it in Korean. It's like something that like a gang member would say. Like
Yeah.
the way he said it,
Come
like
on,
hitting
first.
the table. He's like, "Come on at me.
Come
you
on
got
at me.
beef? Come at me.
Come at me, bro." That's what
Yeah,
he's saying.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, he did say that he was in shock for dying so fast to Juno Han last match. So this time around, I'm hoping that he prepared a lot against, for the team Unknown.
And the first time we seen those two teams was actually at the day one of the quarterfinals,
Yeah.
where we actually had our first broadcast, and we
Yeah.
did see both teams. But to be fair, Unknown played at a much higher performance than Team Revival did overall. Taking GC Busan Blue all the way to the TKO is actually very impressive in itself. But Team Unknown, whether it be these three relatively unknown players form together to put up a good performance, or whether it will be Team Revival with the legendary Jason Lee trying to carry his team. We'll see who comes out on top on this one.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that because, Unknown team, even though two of the players I know, but there's you're fairly unknown compared to all the other, famous or well-known players. But they do have a solid teamwork right there. So during the interview, they even said, we may struggle a little bit during singles, but their tag team, they are confident enough to beat Revival in the tag team match at least.
And we'll have to see how these turn out. If actually Unknown can pick out some wins in the singles, that would actually be a tremendous thing for them, because I think they have all the confidence in the world going into the tag matches. But with the win prediction of the fan votes, it's 90-10 going to Revival. Primarily, I can say all 90% of these fans are Jason fans, so that's actually a pretty confirmed fact. But we have to see, because it's not just on the team. It's not a singles match anymore. It's a singles of different players, and also with the tag tournament mixed in.
Exactly.
We have to consider all those options to see, which team is the better team this time around.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. As you just mentioned, it is a mix-and match starting this year. It is not singles and tag separated like last year. So everybody has to get their teamwork going on.
And we have to see whether they can do that, because the first game of the singles being Daegu Lee, the one that has struggled, but this time on the Blade Dancer, and also it's going to be a Blade Dancer mirror match with Jung So also on the Blade Dancer. We have very little information about these two players other than the fact that, we saw them in day one. We know that Revival's Daegu Lee didn't perform as well as he should have had obviously against GC Busan Red.
Is that really important? This matchup is critical because Daegu Lee called out Jung Ho-seo, and he came out. He came out answering. He's like, I came out. What now?
And so
this is the match.
He is here
of the day, I think.
He is here for the challenge, and whether see Daegu Lee, he looks actually extremely nervous. We can see from his facial expression. He really wants to redeem himself because he did not perform well on stage on day one, and day 3 is the day to do it, because if he doesn't perform, even much better than what he did on day 1, his team might be out of the tournament already.
Yep, and it seems like the music has changed, and Daegu Lee versus Jung Ho-seo will be getting into our first match of the second losers bracket.
And the first match for Revival versus Unknown does begin with Daegu Lee and Jung Ho-seo on both sides playing the Blade Dancer. This is a mirror match this time around. We does go with a pretty aggressive strike from both sides. It actually gets the both the same thing, and they do the same back roll on the same exact time. So
and they both
evenly match anyone. So we have to see.
Usually Blade Dancer mirrors, people sometimes fall asleep. I hope you guys don't fall asleep, because it's going to be exciting.
Exactly. I think both teams really want the win here, especially Daegu Lee looking for redemption. Gets him into the area off of that stun. He does save the second escape for now. Right now, he has a second win available, and Jung Ho-seo doesn't use it.
Why didn't he? Oh my god.
Phantom Grip, maybe he wants to save it for later, but doesn't go to the second aerial, and he's taking much more damage. I think he might be regretting not using it the first time, and he does go on the stun. It still doesn't use it. And Jung Ho-seo taking the full lightning draw all the way into the damage.
Yeah, well, now he doesn't have to use it when he got lightning draw. He already taken all the damage. When he got Phantom Grip, he should have just used his Flock of Blades to knock him back. That is why the Flock of Blades is there for the Blade the Blade Dancer when he
And-
gets gripped or Phantom Grip.
Oh, actually, this is another stun.
Finally!
Now, finally, he uses the second wind to get him back, but it actually gets Daegu Lee into the aerial. And Jung Woo-seo trying to look the same, get
drop.
the same amount of damage onto the second aerial, trying to get that exclusive amount of damage onto him, and does still stay in the air. Actually, good amount
gets
of
pulled in.
damage.
The back roll chase connects into the Phantom Grip. Finally, he uses his Flock of Blades to knock him back. He's going to use it. All right, they're going back and forth, Flock of Blades.
And
But now Daegu Lee still has his tab escape, so he is at a
Yes.
little bit of an advantage.
And Daegu Lee and Jung Woo-seo right now, they seem like it was one towards one side,
Yeah.
but right now they're pretty even on health. And thus, Daegu Lee with the only advantage that he has on the escape, but escape comes back
Oh,
to
no,
both sides.
lightning draw is there.
It's actually on the
Lightning
aerial.
draw.
Lightning draw actually still stands on there with the aerial, and this seems to be actually going to
Oh,
Jung
he-
Woo-seo.
no,
It
he-
still barely has enough health
No,
to live
Daegu
alive.
Lee got hit by his tab escape knockback. I don't know why he did that. He
Oh,
should have
my
expected
goodness.
that after the lightning draw. Just backstepped out after the lightning draw instead of staying still.
And Daegu Lee still has the second base hit, but it doesn't matter because he's in the area and still taking damage. And that's
There we
actually
go.
very close.
Oh, he missed the back row chase.
Oh my
What
goodness.
is going on?
Jung Woo-seo, an unexpected finish off of that play. He was slimmest of health for the entirety of that game. But it seemed like Daegu Lee with a crucial mistake near the end. What did happen there?
Oh, well, first of all, Jung Woo-seo making that, mistake or miscalculation of not using that Flock of Blades.
Yes.
Did play a good role at the end or mid-game when he was able to knock him back. However, afterwards, Daegu Lee playing such a good game, such a great game until like 90% of the game. At the end, he misses that tech chase, that back roll chase, unfortunately, and then he is just knocked down by Jung Woo-seo. We'll have to see the replays to get a better look.
And
on
this
that.
is where you're talking about where he should have used the second win right there, but he shouldn't get away from that, but he did save it for later. But right now, it just seemed like, just at this point.
No, but
it
at
seemed-
this point, he doesn't need to use it because he's already taken all the damage
But
and all the
just
CC.
all
so
the
it doesn't
damage,
matter.
but all the damage
Yeah.
combined, I think he took too much damage for his own good. And we thought Jung Woo-seo made a huge mistake going into that play, but somehow Daegu Lee takes extraordinary amounts of damage into the constant aerial near the end to actually die
so
off of
this
those
time
plays.
around, just now, the double aerial was very good. Here is the time when he gets that tab escape knockback, and he rolls back and he doesn't get the chase right there.
Oh my goodness.
That was it. So he did not get that chase. That back roll tech chase was critical. If he got that CC in, he would have won.
And Daegu Lee making that one crucial mistake near the end. Doesn't matter how well you play for the 90% of the game, but if you mess up crucially at the last 10%, you just end up as a loser.
Yeah, and we just have to see the replay again, showing his mistake, well, showing both of their mistakes of, miscalculations, but, crucial for Daegu Lee because he lost that match.
And we see on the Revival side that Jae-sung Lee is not coming out for the singles. Seems like Hyuk-yeon is actually getting prepared for the second singles, and this is actually the same time, the same way it turned out in the day one, and it didn't look that all the best for Revival, but they're going with the same strategy, trying to bring Hyuk-yeon onto his confidence against unknowns. Young Chae on the Assassin, trying to see how that happens here.
Yep, a Force Master versus an Assassin. Usually, if the Force Master was Jung Woo-yoon, an Assassin would have a it would be like a nightmare for the Assassin. But it's a different Force Master, so we'll have to see. I'm not downgrading Hyuk-yi, but we don't have too much information on him, on Hyuk-yi's Force Master, so we'll have to see the way he plays up against an Assassin.
But we know that the recent patch did buff up the Force Master in the 1v1 scenario where Force Master are at much more advantage than they used to be before, so maybe he has to use that to his advantage on the second set because Revival needs a game back to bring it back to even. Whether we can do it, let's find out on the second match of the series. And we are at the second match of the match between Revival versus Unknown. We have Hyuk-yeon on the Force Master on the left and Young Chae on the Assassin on the right. And we have to see, which player can step up to either give their team a big advantage or bring that team back to victory.
Yep, and Hyuk-yeon definitely wants to take a win because they don't want to be going into their tag match 0-2 as Revival with Jae-sung Lee on the team. All right, Young Chae is playing aggressive, but however, he did use his flower already, so he only has his stealth, and he uses Ice Burst, Hyuk-Yeon, probably predicting that the assassin would have came in.
But he does go on that. He's trying to see on the stealth and see what he can do with that. But Hyuk-Yeon, with that cute dinosaur helmet, by the way, actually very fond of that, and actually see what that can bring an extra boost to his performance. But so Hyuk-Yeon getting really nothing going on his way.
Yep, nothing too much is happening right now, but it seems as if Hyuk-Yeon's Force Master is more passive than Jung Ho-yoon's Force
And it's
Master.
not a situation to be considered because Hyuk-Yeon with the Force Master, he knows that he should have the advantage just from a class perspective.
Yep.
And you know, going up against an assassin, you should be more aggressive than what Hyuk-Yeon is showing right now.
Ooh, all right, the tab escape,
this might be a
knocked back
chance.
into the double aerial right now, but unfortunately he has already used his Inferno, so he could have done more damage if he had that Inferno. But now he has all used his escape, Young Won-chae. It's in a dangerous position.
Oh my goodness, and the Phantom Grip coming in for Hyuk-Yeon, and actually getting decent damage, but it does go on into the aerial. Let's see what on the webbing, what Young Won-chae can do with this play. And the Poison Breath coming in.
Hyuk-Yeon saving, there we go. He took that last CC and then backstepped out. The backstep escape.
And the Hyuk-Yeon
Frost
does
armor.
get his second win back right now, and does get some of his health back with the Frost armor.
Yep.
And we'll see what Young Won-chae trying to look for the situation where he can strike, but nothing really for him yet. And get him into the aerial. Get him into the aerial and escape what he can do. Does freeze himself, Hyuk-Yeon. And
No, that it was the Ice Mine by the assassin.
Oh yes, it was the Ice Mine.
in the air.
Yes, actually, that's actually very hard to see. We usually see that on the ground, but Hyuk-Yeon on the Force Master trying to be pretty consistent with how he played, but he does have that second win off as well as Young Won-chae on with the second win.
All right,
we have to see.
And they are trading the tab escape, so it is good.
But I was getting him onto the webbing from Young Won-chae. Hyuk-Yeon trying to see what he can do with this, but really nothing coming from. There's only 30 seconds left until the end of the match, and we have to see how this turns out because I think both sides are pretty even amounts of damage right now on both sides.
No. When it's Assassin versus Force Master, it's always the Assassin doing more damage because the Force Master has so much more heals, and Force Master does not want to play this out. In 10 seconds, he wants to finish off Young Won-chae. Do a lot of damage, get that double aerial with the Inferno. If he does not, within the 5 seconds, he is not going to win this match.
And Young Won-chae playing very smartly with the time advantage that he has.
There we go.
Decent amount of damage.
My God.
Oh, it goes to the damage shot. It's a TKO. It's a TKO. It's not a KO.
Oh my gosh.
How much health is that? Like, can you tell from the image? It's a TKO.
It is TKO'd, but
that's actually more damage coming from the Force Master.
That end with the Inferno, with the meteor strike. Wow. That 5 seconds when I was screaming at him, he did it.
He heard you from the booth. That's what happened. Force Master. Oh my goodness, Hyuk-Yeon, we still can't get over the fact. And first of all, we can't go over the fact that it didn't actually end up in a knockout, but it was actually TKO damage shot. And we thought that, with the assassin, obviously he's gonna have a damage advantage going in towards his way. But with that last 5 seconds of explosive damage going on to the assassin, Hyuk-Yeon finds a win.
Wow. The last 5 seconds won him the game, literally. Really. Alright, so here was a double knockout where he potentially could have done more damage if he had his Inferno, which was on cooldown right now.
Right.
So it was unfortunate, but it was okay. But up to this point right now, if it ended just like this, it would have been Young Won-chae's victory 100%. But right now, oh my God.
How much damage is that? From literally 60 to 1%. Can you call that 1%? I could barely see the red ball.
Well, like, the game itself, realized as a KO. However, the time ran out a little faster while the meteor was hitting him. So, he died after the clock ran out. So it was like a buzzer beater, but it went in a 0.1 second after the buzz.
And it's not the
so
NBA. It's not the NBA. So if you shoot off before the the clock runs out, they usually count that. But in Blade and Soul, TKO was the answer. That expensive amount of damage. I want to call it expansive amount of damage because that's what he put out. And we saw in the first 2 games right now, first 2 matches, it wasn't about the 90% of good performance in the early game. It's about that late 10% that really decided the both games. And perhaps we can call that last 5% for the second game even. And we really don't know what to expect from these matches, no matter how well you play. Blade and Soul is such an explosive game where something just totally can turn around in the last few seconds. And we have to see how this affects both teams going into the tag match.
Yeah, well, as I said, Hyuk-Yeon wanted to win that, but it seemed like he was going to lose until the last 4 or 5 seconds, and they did win that, and I know they got that adrenaline hype, so I hope they take that into this next tag match, which will be the last round for this matchup.
And it will be the decider match for this series, the tag match to decide it all to who makes another chance to get to the semifinals and who will be eliminated for this entire tournament. Let's get it on. And the series between Revival and Unknown is tied at 1-1, and this will be the decider match going into the next round of plays. But right now, Daegu Lee on the Blade Dancer coming out against Younghoon Chae on the Assassin.
Oh my god, I still can't get over that last singles. That burst damage was just, it bursted my mind.
It bursted everybody's mind because Revival right now, they have to use that composure that they earned from the last singles to bring that same amount of energy and momentum onto the tag match and see what they can do.
Yep, and Jaesung Lee, finally we see him on screen on the KFM. And Aaron on the other side on Team Unknown, who didn't play the singles, is on the Destroyer.
And we did talk to Jaesung Lee right before the game. Yeah. We had a little chat with him, but we know that KFM wasn't his main, but he's trying to use that as a kind of a supportive role for his team. And he's trying to see what he can do with it, but Daegu Lee actually taking a lot of damage in the early match. It gets into the aerial, and Younghoon Chae playing him startily into the first match of the series.
Yep, Daegu Lee already using his tab escape as same as Younghoon Chae. They are both out of tab escapes, but no interference has come in yet. But now the next CC, whoever lands it first, is going to become a reactionary 2-on-2 with the defensive and the offensive interfere for sure.
And Younghoon Chae showing the camera what he can do. He has to do the exact same thing onto Daegu Lee on the Blade Dancer, but we have to see what he does. Daegu Lee does get some health back right now, but we're trying to look for an aggressive play going forward. Daegu Lee does get his second win back, with Younghoon Chae still on cooldown for the next 5 seconds.
All right, there we go. Nothing too much happening. They're just exchanging handshakes back and forth. Oh, he does get knocked down.
Does get knocked
there
down.
We go.
Let's
the back row chase, forcing him to use the leaf. All right.
That was actually very quick, and both players will be out, force tagged out in the next 5 seconds. And we'll see Jaesung Lee on the KFM and Jongwoo on the Blade Dancer coming in. They do. Oh, actually, Hyuk-Yeon coming in. Actually, with the Jongwoo on the Blade Dancer coming in for both sides. Let's see what this can do. First series wasn't anything to call out for, and the interference coming in for both sides. Trying to go with the reactionary and trying to see what they can do.
Oh, the lightning drop does land.
Jongwoo takes significant amount of damage coming in from that interfere. And we have to see what they can do here. Jongwoo is out of the second win and does go in to see what he can do with it. Another, actually attack out onto Aaron Kim. We are first showing of him today. And we'll see what he can do.
All right now Hyuk-Yeon is out of both his escapes. Aaron is going to have to play aggressive, forcing Revival to use some of their resources, hit their tag points, or at least their interfere points to take advantage of this no escape Force Master right now, and instead of giving him time.
And if you guys seen Aaron Kim in day one, we know that this guy's all about aggressiveness, but really doesn't have much time to be aggressive when the interfere comes in with the explosive amount and trying to go for the reactionary play on the interfere, but really gets nothing for it on Unknown. But Hyuk-Yeon doing very well against the Destroyer right now.
Oh, the Destroyer is playing aggressive now.
Yeah, this is time.
Reflected.
Because we know that Aaron Kim has seemed to be very aggressive in many situations. We saw him in day one trying to do the same thing. The interfere comes in on both sides actually. Oh, that's actually a kill onto Hyuk-Yeon on the assassin from Younghoon Chae. The interfere, actually a complete mixture of damage coming in, and then forces Jaesung out to be tagged in.
Yes, Jaesung is forcing Aaron Kim to tag out. He's like, I am here, the world champion, the famous blade&soul player.
And Jaesung Lee on the KFM with the cute dino hat and trying to see what he can do with this. Jaesung Lee has to be the carry for his team because his teammates do rely on him to get the team win right here.
Oh, the back row chase does
but
land.
It's into the aerial. And the interfere coming in from both sides, coming into Jongwoo, actually getting good damage on the Jaesung Lee. He was looking very bad for Revival because they need a good play with the one man down. Jaesung Lee has to look for a comeback play right here.
Oh, the back roll chase wasn't connected, but the triple kick lands.
Good damage on the Jongwoo, and Jaesung Lee looking on forward. He just needs to keep this up, forcing the defensive interfere out of Aaron Kim. But Jaesung Lee really needs to keep this up, but does tag out to Daegu Lee on the Blade then to see what he can do.
All right, it's good that he tagged out because Jaesung Lee is the only player with the tag point. And Hyuk-Yeon, would you see that? 2 tag points and 3 interfere points. What is this?
What a waste!
Yeah, what a waste.
And
what?
you know,
oh
my
gosh.
goodness, and Daegu Lee out of the Blaze and trying to do that and trying to get the health back right now, trying to get him a little bit of advantage over the half-healthed Jungwoo and trying to see the Blade Dancer match up once again and see what it can do. Daegu Lee taking a little damage right now.
Yeah, this may be the revenge match.
It has to be
the
because
BD versus BD,
yes.
the first match, but Daegu Lee lost this match. But right now, Jungwoo is at half health, 14 seconds left for the force tag, so he's gonna want to try to chase that. If he misses this chase, I'm gonna bash on him, so get ready.
And as you say, Daegu Lee is trying to look for the aggressive play because on the force tag, he's going to look for the chase, see if he can do it. He does get force tagged out where he can't the chase. Doesn't get anything.
No, he does get the chase, forcing him to use his tab escape right away, Yeonche. So that did connect. Props on him.
So tag on him, and force tag is on with the chase and does get the escape out. And went to see Daegu Lee playing very consistently right now on the bombard. And went to see on the Yeonche, but gets into the aerial. Really back and forth damage right now.
Hey Jason, where are you using your ult? He comes in, used his ult, used his last escape. Now they all only have tag points, except Unknown has 3 interfere points total left.
And we have to still be reminded that they do have all 3 men available for Unknown, and that's going to be a huge advantage going into this last 4 minutes of the match. And Jason Lee does come back on the KFM with the interfere coming from Aaron Kim. Actually, damage enough to finish out Jason Lee, and this is looking grim for Team Revival.
Oh my god, Aaron Kim using the Destroyer ult right in front of Jason Lee's face.
And even the Blade Dancer hits the full stack, and that is it for Unknown. They get the win. A complete hit on the ultimate from the Blade Dancer. How many times have we seen that?
Wow. Well, yeah, the Blade Dancer ult was amazing, but I'm more surprised about that Destroyer ult landing because that never lands. But Jason Lee took that. I'm shocked right now.
Oh my goodness, but you know, Aaron Kim, we have to get props to him because even in their loss in the day 1 that we saw him for the first time, I was very impressed with how aggressive he went and very calculative in many situations. When even he at a disadvantage, he does go in aggressively and get some good damage output in very situations where other people wouldn't. And here we see that aggressive play coming in favor of him once again, getting in very situational plays where they get the win in the end.
Yep, so Unknown takes the win. Unfortunately, Jaesung's team Revival is knocked out of Season 2.
And they are knocked out of the tournament. Jason Lee will be disappointed with how his team result didn't plan out as well as he wanted. I'm sure he would have at least wanted to make it to the semifinals and put up a good fight. Yeah. But it seemed like Unknown, the better team of day 1 is the better team of day 3.
Yep, you're right. And Unknown is now going to be going. Yeah, they're going to be facing GC Busan Red to go or try to take that spot away from them to get into the semifinals.
And I'm sure Unknown would like to have a revenge against GC Busan Blue, but they won't get that. Yeah. But they have to face their sister team in GC Busan Red. But I think this team right now with the hype. Oh, you're talking about that ultimate. This is actually the big damage on Jason Lee. Explosive damage coming in crucial situations where it ended. I love seeing that full hit onto the Blade Dancer ultimate. It's beautiful to watch. Wow. And Team Unknown, they are not a rookie team by any standard. If you change their team name and if you just hide the player's name, nobody would call this team a rookie team because you know, in day 1, they impressed at how they extended GC Busan Blue onto the damage chart with the TKO, but showing up, they really dominated Revival. We have to say that because, you know, their next match is against GC Busan Red, but they have nothing to fear for right now.
If they do by any chance beat GC Busan Red, they're going to have to change their name too. Well-known.
Well-known team. And that will be it. But, you know, we're very excited to see what we can do, but we will go on a short break and we will be back with the decider match, deciding the last spot for the semifinals, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Day 3 of blade&soul Korea Season 2. And what a Day 3 has it been. And we were just full of surprises going into the bracket. And if you guys saw the scoreboard where it says, GC Busan on the red, Revival on the red, on the left, and we were expecting that L to be W on both the left sides. But, we were just full of surprises, including Day 2 and Day... prediction skills are not our highest skills, obviously. And I think one of the things that really excites me the most is that this last match, the decider match between GC Busan Red and Unknown, it's something that we can't really predict anymore because we thought that, we were talking about this right before, we were off cast, but, we talked about if GC Busan Red, goes to the decider match and any of these rookie teams make it to the decider match, it should be very easy for GC Busan Red. But with seeing how well, Unknown played against Revival, we can no longer say that anymore.
Yeah, definitely not. And especially I'm excited for this match as well because Unknown's Aaron Kim and Sungjin Choi on GC Busan
Finally.
Red, the two destroyers going back and forth with the trash talks. I love it.
Yeah.
This is the match to show, who is the real not the real trash talk, the winner of the trash talk. I don't know, but yeah,
they will be the better destroyer, first of all, yes. But we saw that Aaron Kim, if you guys saw the Day 1 interview, if you remember that clip, we heard him about, him talking about actually Sungjin Choi, that he watched him play as the World Destroyer and see how good is this guy, being called the World Destroyer. He saw him as the referee backstage. So he saw him and he was motivated by that, saying, I could play better than this guy. And there's finally a chance for him to prove that in Season 2. If he can really beat him out, and if this match does come to fruition, we can see that Aaron Kim would really like to make a statement against Sungjin Choi.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that because, Sungjin Choi was, trash talking or bashing on Aaron, saying, "Hey, get the same amount or more, victories.
At least get a nickname.
Yeah, you get a
at least get a nickname before you start talking.
Get a nickname. Yeah, I know. So Sungjin Choi talked a lot.
Yeah.
So now he has to prove himself. But this previous match, it was unfortunate for them losing. So now he has to prove himself to Aaron and his teammates and the opponents that he is the World Destroyer back on his feet.
And Sungjin Choi would have had a lot of words coming in for this Day 3, but right now, having lost to GC Busan Blue as a team 4-0, I think they have less words to say right now. I think they really should be just focusing on their plays right now.
Less words, more plays.
And I think the first match will prove who has the more plays because Junohan, unexpectedly, is the first one to come up this time around on the Warlock, as always. And Youngwon Chae on the Assassin played very decently against Revival, where they can bring the same amount of performance against the very famous Junohan. We have to see about that. But this first match, as we've seen in our first two series of the day, that the first match can be a clincher into a good series going for your team.
Yep, Youngwon Chae definitely wants to take this win because he did get owned or did lose to Hyukyeon at the last 5 seconds. So he doesn't want the same thing happening against Junohan's Warlock.
And you have to see all together whether it will be the loser but the better seemingly team will be the winner, or whether it will be the lesser team but with a better record of the day who can pull out on top. And we have to see whether it will be Unknown or GC Busan Red who will make that final spot in the semifinals. It will be a surprise going either way.
Yeah, will it be GC Busan Derbies going both into the semifinals, or will Unknown be going up? We'll see after. Right now, let's get into the first match.
And here we go for the first match between GC Busan Red and Unknown, and it is getting more exciting than ever. With Youngwon Chae on the Assassin on the right, fighting against Junohan on the Warlock. It's always an opponent to be feared about.
All right, body swap starting it off.
And the Assassin on the Youngwon Chae trying to get that strike on there, get the familiar out from Junohan.
Sanctum is put down.
Nothing really happening from it, but it gets the one of the escapes out right now, and Youngwon Chae does go on the stealth and see what he can do with that.
Junohan does get knocked down, but nothing too much happens.
I think both players are really taking a slow look for a good opportunity because rightfully so, Junohan didn't take the good opportunity in his last time around, which cost this team the loss. So I think they're going to be a little bit more careful this time around, trying to get a very short victory and a good opportunity indeed. getting from 130 in a matter of seconds for Junohan.
Getting out of stealth. Oh, at that moment, before that crazy burst damage happened, Junohan did use his tab escape and the time distortion.
Yes.
Restored that right away. It was well played by Junohan. And right after
once
that,
again,
too much damage on Youngwon Che.
Oh, but Youngwon Che doesn't have that same amount of escape available. He does have the second win, but he's still going in aggressively with the stealth. But with this familiar, Junohan is looking too safe, but we're trying to get nothing but we have actually good damage onto Junohan, gets him down to nearly 60% health. And we'll see what Junohan can counter back from this play.
All right, Sanctum, the leash lands into the stealth.
All
right,
this
so
escapes
they're
are gone.
both out of escapes. So whoever lands that first CC is going to be able to take that win. And that seems like Junohan is going to take the win.
Over, and Youngwon Che is done for Junohan. The bigger one coming on to this match, making a statement for game one.
Yeah, don't give Junohan that split second of opportunity because he's not going to miss it. His eyebrows is looking at you.
And I think the eyebrows are getting smaller. I think he's a little more satisfied now. The less angry Junohan is always what we want, because too much of an angry for Junohan would be a scary thing to watch.
Oh, definitely. Yep, at that moment when they're both out of escapes, they probably know, these guys know, all right, this guy's out, that guy's out of escapes, so they know. And Youngwon Che just gave Junohan that split second where, he's like, ugh. And then Junohan just took that opportunity and just finished them off.
And I think we see time in and time out again that Junohan really looks for the opportunity when, even with both players being out on escapes, he really likes those situations where he knows that he can go in aggressively and without any cause, because the skill gap between him and the other players is so large that when the escape advantage isn't there, he knows he can go in aggressively and put in damage like that.
Yeah. Well, Warlock is well known for...
there he is.
All right, look at that.
White eyebrows.
White eyebrows. All right, that's something to look forward to if he's ever going to do it.
If he makes it to the semifinals, I'm personally going to ask him to draw his eyebrows white and get it exactly like that picture, but he probably won't do it. He get angry at me. I don't want Junohan to get angry at me.
You don't. And during the semifinals or even in the finals, he usually does the anger brows. So he doesn't have to do the white brows.
Oh my goodness.
You have to see the anger brows. You haven't seen it yet, so
I
you don't know.
I haven't seen it yet, and I'm waiting to see it. And another player I am waiting to see perform at his highest is Jinyu Park. He has been disappointing throughout this tournament. He has not had a one performance that really lives up to his name. On the Assassin, which is not as strong as it was before with the recent patch, but still, we expect much better from Jinyu Park, and he is coming up for the second match, which should bring GC Busan Red onto a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, definitely. However, Jung-ho Seo beating Deokyu Lee from Revival in his singles, so he does have that little confidence in this 1v1. However, it is Jinyu Park, but Jinyu Park is not performing up to par, so we'll have to see.
So whether it's the underperforming Jinyu Park or the very well-performing Jung-ho Seo who will take out the victory here, but we will go on to the second match and see who comes in with the good amount of advantage going to the tag match, but we'll have to see how this turns out.
All right, the music has changed, telling us that we are ready for the second round of this last set.
And we are here for the second match between GC Busan Red and Unknown, and my god, Junohan put on a statement in the first match, dominating his opposition, but we need Jinyu Park to do the same.
Yep, all right, Jinyu Park playing it aggressive, forcing him to use his tab escape already, Jung-ho Seo.
And very good to see Jinyu Park on the aggressive side again, because we have been missing this aggressive side of Jinyu Park for the last recent matches, but it's good to see that again from him.
All right, he uses his leaf right away, so they're out of one escapes each. So we'll have to see.
And so seemingly Jung-ho Seo does have to play extra careful, because he is out of that second win right now with the Jinyu Park on the advantage with the escape. And Jinyu Park should go in as he does right now, but he actually goes into the area from Jung-ho Seo. This is his opportunity to get into the second area and put in more damage. He goes into the Phantom Grip trying to get more damage going onto him. That's actually a very good play by Jung-ho Seo. He's not getting out of that play like control. That's actually very good damage, consistent damage coming in from Jung-ho Seo.
All right, forcing Jinyu Park to use his tab escape as well. So now it's Jinyu Park's turn, because if he does not capitalize on this.
But right now, Jinyu Park is actually going back to his old ways of this recent tournament, but he needs to perform much better than he is right now to pick up a victory for his team.
relay in CCs. He is saving his tab escape. Jung-ho-seo, yep, he took enough damage and he saved it.
And perhaps a very good save from
That was
Jung-ho-seo,
very
because
good save.
and if he used it there, he would have been very behind for very little damage would have been taken. But a very good save by Jung-ho-seo.
the back row chase!
He can actually use that right now on his aerial right now.
Oh my god, the lightning draw is coming, the lightning draw is coming!
Aerial lightning draw! And he does use the escape to finally get out before he does get knocked out. But in the end, Jinyu Park is right now so behind.
Alright, he
Actually, one more hit would do it for Jinyu Park. He does have that escape left, but it wouldn't matter. One hit would do it for Jinyu Park.
yeah.
But right now, this is so close between both sides.
Jinyu Park could just go and cough on him.
Just
he
one
heals
hit
back.
would do it. But he does
he
heal
heals
back right now. I think even with the lack of escape, as I mentioned, with this last 1 minute available for this match, one hit would have done it, but he's not looking for that again.
Back roll chase!
But he doesn't get into the
He's
area.
done! The lightning draw is coming! The lightning draw is coming!
He's done it, and it is over for GC Busan Red. Jinyu Park, what did he do wrong?
Oh gosh, well, it's not about what he did, what he should have done, not what he did wrong. He should have, when he was out of that escape, when he put that flower down and before he healed, he should have just literally just gone up to him and just poked him. He would have died.
And I'm sure, we're not being really calculative here, but one hit would have done that, I would have think. With that slimmest of hell. And Jinyu Park, I don't know what was going through his head at the one moment, but we see in the replay that, Jinyu Park was mostly behind throughout this match, but we talked about inches, and we talked about the last 5% of games where all the difference can be made, and Jinyu Park did have that opportunity to finish off the game.
Yeah, so right now, lightning draw into the stealth, so now he capitalized on it, does a lot of damage here.
Great
Jung-ho-seo saving his escape. Yeah, it seemed like it was a good choice up to now, until he just keeps taking damage, until that little 1% damage, he still has his escape. He's just constantly taking damage.
And Jung-ho-seo right here, this is where he takes the crucial damage.
He has his flower down. He should have just gone in for it. I don't know why.
A lot of things that I think are going through Jinyu Park's mind, and that really cost him the game with the lightning draw, finishing him off at the end. But it's really disappointing that we almost got to see the old Jinyu Park, but that almost isn't enough to beat out. Jung-ho-seo is playing actually really well on the Blade
Jinyu is
Dancer.
definitely tilted. He's tilted.
There's no way he can
But
come
he
back.
always looks the same. That I'm happy for, because he doesn't look too sad.
But as long as you've seen him, you probably know when he's tilted and when he's not.
Yeah.
And I can guess that he is on the tilted side right now, because going into the tag tournament, he's going to need all that composure that he can bring to this tag tournament, because this will be the deciding match going into the 1v1 even series right now, and this tag match going into this match will be the decider match for this series.
Yep, and as I said, GC Busan Red versus Unknown. If Unknown takes this victory in this tag team, Jinyu is already tilted. He's going to fall over if he loses this, and we don't want that.
Because we know that how extraordinary of a player that he is, and he's already shown us time and time again that he is a wonderful player to watch. But it's all about the actual result that matters so much, unfortunately, for Blade and Soul. And if you don't come out and perform in the crucial times, it just doesn't matter for your team, and you will be eliminated out of the tournament.
Yeah, and I don't know. All right, the song changed. We have to get into the third and last match of the day. Who will win and who will take the victory to the semifinal spot?
And we are here for the final decider match. For the Group B, the last semifinals will be decided here, but I want to get back to our old point of talking about GC Busan Red, because right now Jinyu Park will be on complete tilt going into this game.
Well, Jinyu Park actually, even though he's tilted, sometimes he loses in singles, but in the tag, he does go for that teamwork. He's not a solo player, so even though he may be on tilt, he still will perform, I believe.
And whether that
he will perform.
And whether that contribution will come for Jinyu Park, it will be crucial for how this result will come out. But Unknown, I think they're going to be feeling really good going into this tag match.
Yeah, and Personally, I want GC Busan Red to win just because I want to see Junohan's angry brows.
It's
Yeah.
a privilege to see it, and privilege comes with a cost, and they have to be unknown with the deficit they're facing right now to get their last spot in the
Yeah,
semifinals.
they don't want to lose. Well, neither of the team want to lose. So they're playing it very carefully. A slow game right now.
Because we know that both sides, we know how much is on the line for both sides, and both teams are wanting to win just as the other. But right now, just Young Che on the assassin trying to go against Sung Choi on the destroyer.
Oh, there we go.
But really nothing happening. I think both teams are really taking it slow, but with the escape gone for the destroyer, Sung Choi, Young Che is at an advantage right now.
All right, Ember Stomp, so he doesn't want to get CC right now. Youngwon is out of stealth now. Puts down the flower again. Puts down the mine. He wants to do the body saw when the Ember Stomp is gone. Body saw.
And Youngwon does go in, but with the actually gets another stun, but he has no escapes to get out of that. But a defensive interferer has to from Junior Park. Tries to come in and defend his teammate.
All right, but you know nothing too much happens with the defensive interferer. 1 second until that force tag.
And both players are force tagged down, and Junohan, who has been the most consistent of the GC Busan Red side, and it's doing so again, coming in with a little bit of damage onto Aaron Kim, and Aaron Kim getting pretty good damage off of that as well.
Yep, Aaron Kim doing some damage to Familiar right now, and to Sung Jin Choi, who, Jinyu Park, who interfered in as well.
So right now, Aaron Kim playing very composure, and Junohan, who has been playing the most consistently throughout this tournament, he has to perform right now and get his team the victory.
Yeah, Aaron Kim is actually hitting the Familiar a lot, half health, and the timer runs out. The Familiar is gone, but he goes into the aerial.
Oh, that's actually a lot of damage going on to Aaron Kim. Defensive interference and a reactionary interference coming in right now. Aaron Kim almost goes down before he has to tag out, which he did very well onto Jung Woo-seo on the Blade Dancer. But right now, Jung Woo-seo trying to get a damage onto Sung Jin Choi. Actually, the lightning draw actually getting very good damage onto him right now. They do have their escapes on both sides available, but they're refusing to use it. But I think Sung Jin Choi is on the behind route right now.
But Sung Jin Choi is able to do a lot of damage on top of that Ember Stomp and saving both his escapes, whereas Jung Woo-seo is out of his tab escape for the next 25 seconds.
Oh, and he goes on the Typhoon, tries to look for the damage onto him, tries to go down, but interfere coming in from the Aaron Kim, and but trying to get nothing from it. But right now, with Jung Woo-seo being out of those escapes, whereas Sung Jin Choi has all his escapes available, this has to be a good situation for Sung Jin Choi.
Yeah, when the defensive interferer came in, Sung Jin Choi used the persistence, and nothing was done by Unknown, so basically wasting an interfere.
But in the end, Youngwon Che does come in on the tag, trying to keep it safe as possible, because we know that a one-man down on a tag tournament can be crucial for the match.
All right, Super Saiyan mode right now on Sung Jin Choi.
But actually,
the mind does not connect.
But we have to see with the Typhoon, he's trying to get that onto it, but Sung Jin Choi actually playing very consistent considering the amount of damage he took earlier on. He's playing very well.
Yep, Youngwon Che also spec'd into the blue buff, not bringing out the Lotus Fury. I mean, not the Lotus Fury, the flower. So, ooh, there we go.
And Youngwon Che trying to go for the play. He's still on stealth mode right now, and Sung Jin Choi has to get him out of there. Try to look for damage. He does get him out, but actually trying to go on the Typhoon, and by actually taking the damage on the opposite side, Sung Jin Choi not getting the trade that he wants.
Yep, not too much. Sung Jin Choi is going to be tagged out. He wants to be close. Oh, the ult does not connect.
Actually, this is a very bad play. Trying to go for that play, though it doesn't happen. But Youngwon Che is out of the escape right now. So Jinyu Park, he has to redeem himself. This is a good chance to do it.
Yep, Jinyu Park has the flower down, playing aggressive. The reactionary 2v2
is going on, but Jinyu Park is also
the ult. Okay. Yeah, the Warlock ult always gets cancelled.
But nothing coming from it. But 12 seconds onto Youngwon Che until he is force tagged out. Yep. So Jinyu Park has a good opportunity to get that chase on and look for a crucial play. But even before that, he's getting crucial damage. But right now, going pretty even on the trades, and he's going to be force tagged right here on the chase.
Chase.
Actually, the chase very works out and gets good damage onto Aaron Kim.
Yep, Aaron Kim uses persistence to get out of that CC right away.
And he gets a little bit of health back with the Earth Shatter, but not too much from it. Jinyu Park actually playing really well right now.
Don't call that Earth Shatter, that's Reinhardt.
That's
Super Saiyan.
Earth Shatter, Super Saiyan mode. Alright. But we have to call this whatever it needs to be, because Aaron Kim as aggressively has the
ult! That's the Destroyer ult!
Oh, Destroyer ult gets a little bit of damage, but not too much. But I think Jinyu Park does a good job of escaping from that.
Yep. All right, tons of damage on Junior Park. He
actually
has
gets
taken out Junior Park.
Choice.
There we
Dies
go.
from it. This is actually looking
Wow.
really bad. Suddenly looking really bad for GC Busan Red.
no.
They're one man down, and Junior Park is at a slimmer of health. Junohan is the only health going into this last few minutes.
All right, it's Junohan. He has to knock out one player at least one.
He has to be the superhero for
Yeah.
GC Busan Red.
The
Right
ult
now,
goes
the
up.
ult is the flammer of it all. He blows it right on his face. Nothing coming from it. Junohan very composed right now, trying to bring his team back to
All right,
victory.
Junohan switches plays with the familiar, playing aggressive with the time distortion down, getting his tab escape back, playing very aggressive, doing as much damage as he can right now.
But Jung, he gets nothing away from Jones other than a few amount of damage, but he would have liked to get the escape out of it, but doesn't. Save it for now, but let's see what Junohan can do with this.
Yeah, Junohan is lasting very long right now, buying Junior Park to heal up, but he is tagged in.
But I don't know if this is a good tag, because
No, it is good because Junior Park does have that one tag point, whereas Junohan does not. So he doesn't want to stay out there forever without a tag point, because if he does go into a critical condition, then he can't interfere in. So right now, Junior Park being out with the tag point is very good.
He does go on stealth, and he does get knocked down, forcing the last interfere out of Junohan. He does have one interfere, does available. Oh, yes, actually is to get into offensive play, but not enough damage going on to Yeonche. And it still has that escape available, so right now Unknown on an extreme amount of advantage. Right now, Junior Park, as aggressive as he is, he has to play extra careful.
Oh gosh, are we gonna be seeing Junior Park's 3v1 once again?
Junior Park, we have to see that of some sort, because without that, his team is extremely behind. He has that flower down, trying to use that into his advantage, but right now nothing coming from it.
Yeah, and Unknown's interfere points look very good right now. Everybody having 2 interfere points each.
And even with that advantage, Junior
Junior
Park
Park is
is down, and Junohan,
All right.
and this has to be the 1v3. Junohan has to pull this off. He
All right,
has
eyebrows.
played consistently throughout this tournament, but this is an extra amount of consistency that he needs right now to bring his team back to victory.
All right, Junohan, this is the moment.
Oh, that's
there
actually
we
good
go.
damage.
This is the moment, Juno. Come on,
We
eyebrows.
need a few more of those for Junohan to get this team back to track. But right now, Junohan does force on the tag
All
onto Jung Woo-seo.
The time distortion is procced right now. Gets his tab escape is back. There we go, playing aggressive, pulling his familiar back. All right, Jung Woo-seo is out of tab escape right now. Juno, come on, land that CC, land that CC.
And Junohan playing extremely well, as well as anybody would have wanted him to right now. But Junohan has to look for more of these plays, and if he can bring his team back to victory.
Oh, gets Phantom Grip in.
But Junohan's still relatively healthy, even with the escape still available. So Junohan playing as well as he could. We say that over and over again, but we need more of these plays so that Junohan somehow can bring the team back to victory. But the interfere coming in from Unknown and trying to get the offensive play onto Junohan. Oh, getting actually good damage onto Junohan, but they need a few more. Oh, no, that's actually more damage than needed right now. And Junohan is crucially out of half of his health right now.
Interfering back to back.
But this is non-stop action for Team Unknown. And Junohan is at crucial health.
They're bullying him. It's a 3v1 with so many interfere points on Unknown, and Junohan is out of his escapes. He is done.
Grip. This is going to be looking the grim, and this is going to be the end. And this is the end for GC Busan Red. Who would have expected us to say that coming into day 3, that GC Busan Red would have been out of the tournament on day 3?
Oh gosh, the team with Junior Park, Sungjin Choi, and eyebrows.
Can you repeat those names again?
Oh gosh, Sungjin Choi, Junohan, Junior Park. Come on, how does this happen?
Look at this players' faces right now. They're more distraught than we are because of our disappointment that we have in GC Busan Red. I'm sure the team themselves and the players themselves have so much more to be disappointed for, not just for the result, but for how they played this out.
Wow, Junohan has that face of like, yo, I'm quitting. He has that face. He had that face. He's like,
You know what, as much as I want to disagree with you on that, but Junohan looks distraught right now.
He did play a good game.
He played wonderfully, and I have to be critical. I'm not the type of person that usually is critical of players, but you know, as famous as these players are and well known for their skill levels, other than Junohan, these two players didn't perform.
Yeah, definitely not. We expected a lot more from both of them. We did. But I don't know what is up. Something definitely is up. Because when it got to this point, I still had hope for Junohan to do a 3v1 because a Warlock is, it's possible that burst damage, but Unknown has too many interfere points. They were just interfering back to back to back to back to back.
Fooling, as you say. Yeah. And I think we do have to give props also to Unknown.
Yeah.
They played wonderfully.
Yeah, wonderfully. And they managed their points very well. They had so many interfere points to spare in the end when there was Junohan left.
And no matter how much we can be critical of GC Busan Red, some of the players not performing, we do have to give props to Unknown because they really performed. And the underdogs seemingly on the right side of each of these brackets here, they all get the wins today. And it will be GC Busan Blue and Team Unknown out of all the teams that we expected heading into the semifinals.
Yep, it will be the semifinals now from next week, June 10th and 11th, KST. June 10th, it will be 12 p.m. KST.
That's on Saturday.
Yep, on Saturday. June 11th, which is Sunday, 1400 or 2 p.m. KST. So, yep, tune in. Unfortunately, GC Busan Red, Eyebrows, Sungjin Choi, Jinyu Park won't be there playing.
If you're a fan of those three players and you are seemingly disappointed as much as we are right now, still come back to the semifinals because we know that as much as we expect blade&soul to be always an exciting tournament to watch, this season especially has been extremely valuable in the source of entertainment that it has provided today. And with Day 2 and Day 3 combined, the entertainment value has risen so much that we can only expect more for the semifinals.
Yeah, definitely. It's been twist after twist after, surprises after surprises. Stop surprising us. Actually, no. Yeah, keep surprising us.
I like surprises.
Keep surprising us. And we're back to us. And today was just insane.
We're exhausted because of all the surprises that we got from today, because all the teams that we didn't expect to win won out. So, hey, if we get a next job, after a casting career, if we get a job as a predictor, let's not go into that because we will be terrible.
No. What I'm going to do if that happens is I'm going to predict truthfully and then vote against my prediction.
Hey. That's actually reverse psychology there. Actually very good. So I hope you guys have better prediction skills than we do. But we will close out today's Day 3, a wonderful series of matches, and we will be back next Saturday with the semifinals at 12 Korean Standard Time, and we will be back to bring in more Blade&soul action. So stay tuned until then.